Hi.
Hey everyone, I hope you're doing great, and today we're going to talk about Assassination Rogue's poisons in PvP. I see a lot of rogue players who still wonder about which poison to use in PvP and why, as well as asking other questions regarding poisons. In this video I'll do my best to detail the strength of the different poisons we can pick and why one is used over the other. Back in 8.0, Assassination Rogues had a Honor talent called Deadly Brew. This Honor talent allowed Deadly Poison to also apply a wound poison debuff to the target, although it was not as strong as the debuff applied by the actual wound poison. To make it simple, it allowed Assassination Rogues to benefit from both the damage of Deadly Poison and the healing reduction effect of wound poison. However, when 8.1 class builds were released, this talent was removed from the game. Now, Assassination Rogues have to choose between either Deadly Poison and its damage, or Wound Poison and its healing reduction effect. Let's say it right now, in any rated PvP match, Wound Poison is the way to go, and we're going to see why. Wound Poison, alongside the Master Poisoner talent, reduces all healing taken by the target by 30%. Deadly Poison, on average, is equal to 15% of your total damage. Now, imagine that you will deal 100k damage within 10 seconds, without accounting for any poison damage, and the enemy team would heal for 100k over the 10 seconds. If you play Deadly Poison, you'll do 15% more damage, which means you will no longer deal 100k damage, but 115k. If you play Wound Poison, you will only deal 100k damage, but the enemy team will heal for 70k and not 100k. So when the 10 seconds end, with Deadly Poison the enemy target will have lost 15k health, and with Wound Poison the enemy target will have lost 30k health. You can see that if you look at your damage while taking into account enemy healing, the 30% healing reduction is equivalent to a 30% damage increase, even though you did less pure damage. Because if you look at my example, the target lost 30k health with Wound Poison, so it's as if my damage was 130k, while the healing was 100k. And if you remember correctly, with Deadly Poison, I'd have dealt 115k damage for the same healing. And of course, in PvP, the enemy team will always try to fight back and heal. Of course, in this example, the enemy healing was the same as the damage dealt, which is not true in most cases. I just wanted easy numbers to make my point clear. But if you want to check what I'm saying because you have doubts, you can pick other numbers, especially more realistic numbers with a healing output higher than the damage output, and slowly decrease the healing output as dampening goes higher. If you do this, you will notice that you will outdamage the healing sooner with Wound Poison, which means you will kill more easily with Wound Poison. So that's it for the math part of this video. At this point, I hope it is clear that Wound Poison allows you to take more health away from your target than Deadly Poison, if there is any healing. If there is zero or very little healing, then Deadly Poison will be better, but this never really happens when you're up against players who know how to react to what you're doing. You will very rarely just one-shot someone in opener against good players, so you have to aim for the long game, the game that happens after the first 10 seconds. And for this game, you need Wound Poison because you need healing reduction in order to be efficient. Now, you also need to consider that you are never alone in ranked PvP. In 2 vs 2 you will have a healer, or maybe a Shadow Priest, or maybe a mage with you. In 3 vs 3 you will have both a DPS and a healer with you, and in rated battlegrounds you will have 9 players fighting alongside you. If you choose to play Deadly Poison in these games, it will increase only your damage by approximately 15%, but your allies will not benefit from it in any way. Now if you pick Wound Poison, we saw earlier that the total damage after enemy healing was better with Wound Poison than with Deadly Poison, but it is also increasing the damage of your whole team because their damage becomes 30% harder to heal as well. Don't forget that the healing reduction debuff is on the target, it is not tied to your damage unlike Deadly Poison. This is a very important reason as to why you should use Wound Poison in PvP. If a target kites you, you lose a part of Deadly Poison's damage since you cannot reapply it, but the healing reduction effect from Wound Poison is still fully effective when you are kited, so your team can still deal damage that is hard to heal. Same if you get CC'd, the wound poison remains at full effect. As a quick side note, I started to prepare this video before the mana regeneration nerfs in PvP, so now that we have these nerfs, I believe wound poison is even more important. Because if you deal damage that is 30% harder to heal than normal damage, the enemy healer will need to use more spells in order to heal his teammates. And if he uses more spells, it means that he uses more mana, and because the regeneration was nerfed, that means the healer will go out of mana sooner, and when an enemy healer goes out of mana, you usually win the game. I've heard a lot of people say things like wound poison is nice, but if you play rogue mage or rogue mage priest, you only kill on goes, so burst damage is better and you can use deadly poison. And no, this is not true. Maybe rogue mage in 2 vs 2 could use deadly poison sometimes, since indeed you will kill when everyone is in CC and there is no healing. But most of the times the enemy team will trinket the DPS will trinket your first go and the healer will trinket your second go, and every time someone trinkets, they will use a healing cooldown to stay alive. So if you play wound poison with the dampening that starts at 20% in 2 vs 2, you will negate half of the healing from the cooldown, which might let you kill through the healing, or at least not let the kill target go back to full health before your next go. And when this happens, you win. As for Rogue Mage Priest in 3 vs 3, there is no dampening at start, and there are many comps with DPS that can heal, such as Windwalkers, such as Boom Kings, Shadow Priests, Elemental Shamans. Even mages can heal with Cauterize and Temporal Shield, and if you reduce that healing, it helps a lot. So you need Wound Poison to have a healing reduction effect, and you do not need extra damage from Deadly Poison because you have a DPS teammate with you. So every time you will have a go, your damage plus the damage of your teammate will be more than enough to kill any class. So to sum all of this up, as long as there is healing in the game, Wound Poison will net more damage than Deadly Poison. And in PvP there is always healing, so Wound Poison will always be better. What's more, your allies also benefit from your Wound Poison, making it even better. So the conclusion is, pick Wound Poison every time and nothing will go wrong. When you get more experience, you might feel that a specific situation allows for the use of Deadly Poison, but until you get that game awareness, simply play Wound Poison and you'll do great. And even with the game awareness, the situations where Deadly Poison is better are extremely rare, so don't worry about it. That's it for this video. I hope I was clear and helpful. Thanks for watching and see you in another video.
Goodbye.